So you're thinking about moving to Lake Arrowhead? Well, you're in the right place. On this channel, I'm going to take you through the various neighborhoods that Lake Arrowhead has to offer. In addition, I'm going to take you through the different price points, starting as low as $350,000 to get into a solid Lake Arrowhead home, all the way up to $1 million plus. With that said, there's a bunch of different communities within Lake Arrowhead. I'm going to take you through those communities. Also, good, the bad, the ugly, and what it's really like, mostly good, to live in the beautiful mountain community of Lake Arrowhead. There is so much more to Lake Arrowhead than people realize, and that's why I'm standing today in the heart of Lake Arrowhead at the Lake Arrowhead Village. Today, we're going to cover where Lake Arrowhead really is. How close is it to major metropolitan areas, including San Diego, Los Angeles, Pasadena, and yes, even Las Vegas if you want a quick getaway from the mountains to the city and back to the mountains, all in the same day. Also, I'm going to share with you which international airport is literally door to door, less than an hour away from where I'm standing right here in the Lake Arrowhead Village. Stick around. You'll be absolutely amazed at how Lake Arrowhead is so close to everything you need, but it's a world away. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to share with you the most important thing that you need to know. In fact, it's the thing that catches most buyers off guard. And it honestly could be the difference between getting exactly what you want and moving up to Lake Arrowhead and, well, having a whole different experience. My name is Jason Crawford, and I'm the founder of Crawford Realty Group, and I relocated here to Lake Arrowhead in 2022. Working with me, connecting with me, asking me questions will help you avoid all the pitfalls and the mistakes that I made along my journey and, well, ultimately ended up in this beautiful place I call home, Lake Arrowhead. All right, well, welcome back. We are actually back home now. So we initially started this video at the Lake Arrowhead Village. Actually did that in the morning, bright and early. There was nobody there, so it was absolutely perfect. But went about my day and then came back home. And now this is the second part where I'm going to bring up Google Maps. And I want to show you where we were, some of the sub-communities within Lake Arrowhead that I alluded to. But most importantly, I want to show you where Lake Arrowhead is on a geographical map and where it is in proximity to, well, major metropolitan areas. Because if maybe you're wondering where Lake Arrowhead is and the first time you're watching this, or you want to know kind of the distance of hey, how far is it from San Diego or from LA, or I work in Inland Empire, or San Diego, how does that work out for a commute? So let's go ahead and get the map open. Okay, fantastic. So you should hopefully be seeing the Lake Arrowhead map, and this is where we were this morning. We were actually just off the side of, well, there's a picture aerial view of the Lake Arrowhead Village. I'm going to go ahead and put a pin in this and show that we were at the Lake Arrowhead Village. There, the pin comes up. That's where we were this morning. That's where we were filming from. And I'm going to zoom out just a little bit and show you kind of the proximity, if you will, of the area. So what I talked about early on is the different sub-communities surrounding Lake Arrowhead. Now, Lake Arrowhead has anywhere between 5 and 8 sub-communities, depending who you're asking. There's some standalone areas, right? I would consider Crestline a standalone area. Although my gym is over in Crestline and it takes me 15 minutes driving at beautiful mountain drive to get over there from my home. Big Bear is certainly a standalone community, and Running Springs would be considered a standalone community. But if we go ahead and zoom in, let's talk about some of the sub-communities. And as you see, actually, I want to see if we can get a general map just to cover the area and highlighting it. Yes, fantastic. Okay, so hey, where'd you go? Let's put Lake Arrowhead back in here. Okay, so by just typing in Lake Arrowhead, we kind of get a boundary or a border map, which this is important because, as I alluded to in my video, there is a huge surprise to a lot of folks that buy in this area is that Lake Arrowhead is a private lake, and you need to be within a certain predefined boundaries in order to have access to that lake. The lake rights, or the ability to access the lake, call them lake rights, transfer with the grant deed. They transfer with the property. So if you are in an area such as Blue Jay, you won't have lake rights. If you're in Arrowhead Villas, you won't have lake rides. Cedar Glen does not have lake rides. So although these would be considered Lake Arrowhead or the general area, and even going down a little bit further here to Rim Forest, and then you see Sky Forest over here, Sky Park and Santa's Village over here in Sky Forest, that does not have lake rides either. One thing that just jumped out to me is Luetti's Pizza. If you are ever in the area, this is absolutely the best pizza, not only in the mountain. Next to having pizza in Italy, it is the second best pizza I ever had, but I've regressed for a moment. But I want to show you the different areas that lie within the quote-unquote Lake Arrowhead boundaries. And I alluded to Crestline, which let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit. Crestline's right over here. So it's not too far. And this is Lake Gregory that we're looking at. So as far as coming to Arrowhead to Crestline, I don't know, maybe a 15 minute drive. It's super close. It's just mountain roads. So it's, you're not breaking any speed barriers going over here. You got to travel these roads, but it's super close. It's 10 to 15 minutes. And to go from, say, Lake Arrowhead Village to downtown Blue Jay, 8 minutes. To go from Lake Arrowhead to Cedar Glen, where we actually had breakfast this morning, that is another 8 minutes. So everything is very centrally located, and that's important to know. So if you want to move up to the area and you're considering, well, hey, value is important to us, but we don't necessarily need lake rides. We'll go over to Lake Gregory if we need a public lake, or we'll go over to Big Bear, which is a public lake. You do have lakes that are public, that are accessible, but if you want to access Lake Arrowhead, then you need to, purchase in the predefined boundaries, get lake rights transferred, and that gives the ability to boat, to fish, to swim, and even hike the trails that are surrounding the perimeter of the lake. So it's very important to know. If you are considering buying here and you're curious where those boundaries are, obviously consult with your realtor. Give me a call. And you can also check with the Lake Arrowhead Association as well. And they are, I'm going to pull up their map here shortly, but it's the Arrowhead Lake Association, and they can be found at ala-ca.org. And I'll put that link in the description as well at the bottom, but they have a boundaries map on there as well. But let's talk about Commute. So in my particular circumstance, I'm a real estate broker up here on the mountain. So commute is not necessarily an issue for me. You wouldn't think. But there are times that I need to go down to the mountain, off the mountain, whether it is during the week for business meetings. Usually I'll come off the mountain on the weekend if we have family events or whatnot. So I want to kind of give you a good feel for the distance using real world scenarios. So coming right out the gate, I will tell you that my girlfriend living up here full time with me, she works in Corona, which is in the Inland Empire, right off the 91 freeway. She only has to commute about 2 or 3 days off the mountain and works from home the other days. So the balance works really well. But I'm going to run it in Google Maps just so you can kind of see the process. So let's get our maps here, and let's go from Lake Arrowhead Village. We'll just use the starting point of where we were today, and we will say to the center of Corona, California. Okay, it looks like a lot on the map, but it's really not. At the time of recording, this is Sunday afternoon, so there's going to be a fair amount of traffic of people coming home and off the mountain. But if you look at it, it's 49 miles away, but you're only looking at about an hour and 3 minutes. Now, I know folks that have a worse commute. I know folks that have an easier commute. But if you're living up in the mountains and you're only having to do this 2 or 3 times a week, not bad. Now let's see what it looks like if you're going to leave in, the morning, and you're going to depart tomorrow, Monday, and you're going to leave at, let's say, 8 a.m. Okay, so now you're getting into some traffic here. So you're going to have about an hour and 5 minutes, an hour and 30 minutes. I can tell you a majority of that traffic is going to be down here, city traffic anyway, having very little to do with the mountain. Let me give you another reference point. Is last weekend we went out to Pasadena for a baseball/sports card show, and it was on a Saturday. And I can tell you door to door, it took us about an hour. So let me go ahead and set that. I have it at the 8 a.m. departure time, so I'm going to move it back to leave now. Keep in mind, if you were to leave Monday morning at 8, you're going to have a ton of traffic. That's just Southern California in general. But if you live up on the mountain and you have stuff that you want to do on the weekend, or if you're only commuting a few times per week. Okay, so this was an hour and 24 minutes from Lake Arrowhead to the heart of Pasadena. We did this last Saturday morning, and door to door was an hour and 5 minutes. But this gives you an idea of proximity to major metropolitan areas. And let's just go ahead and drop in Los Angeles as well, just for the sake of discussion. So now you can kind of get an idea. You're an hour and 32 minutes from Los Angeles. Can you drop in San Diego? 2 hours and 32 minutes from San Diego. So this kind of gives you a nice little idea of the triangle of where we're at. So Lake Arrowhead is up here, and then you have Los Angeles over here, obviously all of Orange County, South Orange County, and then we get into North San Diego, and then obviously San Diego proper. I can tell you what's super cool about living in Lake Arrowhead. We have literally left Lake Arrowhead in the morning, saw the sunrise coming up over the mountains, rising from the east, headed down here to Baja California, Mexico, and watched the sunset in Rosarito. Door to door took us maybe 3 hours and 45 minutes with a stop at the grocery store. So I just wanted to give you a general overview of where it's at, and I'll give you one more reference point. Let's look at Palm Springs. You are an hour and 28 minutes from Palm Springs. Now, let's say if we were to leave, I don't know, I'm going to say next Saturday. Let's see if that lightens the load on traffic. And we're going to leave at 8 a.m. Yeah, so an hour and 20 minutes to get to Palm Springs. So 90 minutes to Palm Springs, an hour and 15, hour and 20 to Pasadena, 2 hours and 20 minutes to, no, not even that long. It was 90 minutes to San Diego, or 2 hours? Let's see what it was to San Diego. Yeah, 2 hours to San Diego. And then one more thing, just for reference, let's look at Las Vegas, because you can go over the backside of the mountain and actually get to Vegas in fairly decent time. If you're in SoCal, you know how long it can take to get to Vegas. This little backtrack down the mountain has you in Vegas in 3 hours. So look, team, what I was really trying to get at is Lake Arrowhead is... It feels like a world away, but it is literally so close to everything. Now, I'm giving you the extreme examples. If we're to move it down to where, if we're going to go to Costco, or if we want to go out and have sushi and a good movie, not that there's not sushi up here, because there certainly is, but if we want to go watch a movie in a theater, we just need a larger geographic area. We tend to go to Redlands, and Redlands is 40 to 50 minutes. And if you want to go do all the, the super really high-end shopping, you can certainly go to Victoria Gardens, which is in Rancho Cucamonga, and that's 45 minutes to an hour away. So truly, there is nothing that we go without up here. I mean, we say, us mountain folk, we're out here in the middle of nowhere. No, we're up in an environment that is peaceful, but it is not definitely off the grid. We have everything that we would need. So let's go back to those general areas and do one more touch on the sub-communities and some places that you want to look at. And I'll do a deeper dive on these in the future. But you have Lake Arrowhead Village, which is kind of Lake Arrowhead proper, if you will. And that typically is what will come with the lake rides. And then you have Blue Jay, which is about, I would guess, 8 minutes from downtown Blue Jay to the village. Then you have Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks is a really popular little area. It's a sub-community. You'll get a little bit more space. You don't have lake rides, but that is over here in this area here, where it says Agua Fria. Twin Peaks is typically over here in this area. And then see Crestline. We talked about Crestline. Crestline's over here. Crestline, I wouldn't consider that a sub-community of Lake Arrowhead. That really is Crestline's underrated. Crestline stands definitely on its two legs, and it is a cool little area. One of our gyms is over there. I do Muay Thai over there. Get my hair cut over there. The barber shop, Lake Gregory. The dog and I hike around the lake. It's an amazing 2.5 mile loop, relatively flat. Cedar Glen, which is, let me zoom in just a little bit, is just over here. Little bedroom community, super cool. Best breakfast on the mountain is over here in Cedar Glen. And then obviously you have Sky Forest, which is down here. I already talked about best pizza, not only in the mountain, but the best pizza in California, period. And Running Springs. Okay, let me go a little bit further down the road here and get over here to Running Springs. Running Springs is another community that definitely stands on its own two legs. And Running Springs is probably about, with the mountain drive, about 20 minutes from Lake Arrowhead. Well, let's go ahead and map it instead of me guessing. Let's go from Lake Arrowhead to Running Springs. And this is going to map, it's going to be some Sunday traffic. I said 20 minutes. Okay, it's 14 minutes. So it's super close. And the $1 million question folks always ask is skiing, snowboarding, snow play. How far are you from the big resorts? So Lake Arrowhead is at a little bit lower of an elevation as compared to Big Bear. So Big Bear has all the cool ski resorts. Running Springs / Big Bear. Let's see, what is that? That's Snow Valley is typically where we will go skiing, and let's go ahead and take a look at that. From Lake Arrowhead, it's 24 minutes and you actually pass through Running Springs. So team, that's it. I just wanted to give you a general overview of what it looks like living in Lake Arrowhead, where Lake Arrowhead is on a geographical map. If you're considering on living here full time and working from home, it is a huge, viable, peaceful option. If you only have to commute 1, 2, maybe 3 days a week, if you're on a hybrid program, completely doable. If you commute every single day and you work maybe in Redlands or Rancho Cucamonga or Loma Linda, those surrounding areas, it's very doable to do it every single day. I know a lot of my neighbors who actually do it. If you're going to the larger metropolitan areas, Los Angeles, Pasadena, San Diego, it's a judgment call for you, but I can tell you the peace and the tranquility up here is definitely worth the trade-off. Well, team, I hope you found this useful and I was able to turn your eyes to one of Southern California's best kept secrets. If you're considering looking up here, buying up here, whether that's in 9 days, 90 days, or 9 years, my team and I would love to assist you. So give us a call. All the information is linked down below. So that's it. Pretty cool, huh? Who would have thought that an area so beautiful, so away from it all, so off the grid and just so peaceful would be so close to the hustle, bustle, cities, work, major airports, and anything that we would need. But at the beginning of the video, I promised you something important. And that has to do with something that, well, it catches most buyers off guard. See, it's the difference between coming up here and getting the experience that you're looking for and, well, in for a big surprise. And that, well, potential surprise has to do with lake rights. See, the lake behind me and all of Lake Arrowhead is actually a private lake. There's a link in the description or in the comments down below to my blog that talks about the history of Lake Arrowhead. But when it comes to Lake Arrowhead's now and what you need to know for, well, intents and purposes of potentially buying real estate in Lake Arrowhead, is that there is a predefined boundary or area within Lake Arrowhead. And if you buy within that predefined area, then you have lake rights. If you buy outside that boundary, then you don't have lake rights. The lake rights actually transfer on the grant deed. They transfer with the property. So if you're not certain if the area you're buying in transfers with lake rights, well, ask your agent, look on your grant deed, or most importantly, give me a call. I'll help you figure it out. But look, it's not all doom and gloom. There's a lot of bedroom communities surrounding Lake Arrowhead that are, well, within 5-10 minutes to where I'm standing now in the Lake Arrowhead Village, but they don't have lake rights. Lake rights aren't always important to folks. You maybe don't have a boat, or you don't care about swimming, fishing, kayaking, or walking the shores of Lake Arrowhead, and you're going to use the other lakes nearby, like, well, Lake Gregory, or even heading on over to Big Bear Lake. When it comes to the different areas and buying within Lake Arrowhead, lake rights, properties that transfer with lake rights typically will be on, well, a little more expensive. The properties that don't have lake rights and don't transfer with lake rights, they're going to be much more affordable. Communities such as Twin Peaks, Blue Jay, Cedar, Glen, those are all great options if you want to get the, well, mountain communities without the high price tag. But if you want lake rights, you're going to want to be inside the predefined boundaries to make sure those lake rights transfer with your grant deed. Contact information is linked down below in the description. My team and I would love to help you relocate to Lake Arrowhead, whether you're looking to buy in 9 days or 90 days. We're here to help.